academics, so we normally write for scholarly journals. We do our research, we analyze data, and then we publish it in journals that fellow academics or our PhD students read. Now that's a limited audience. So we wanted to reach a wider number of people. So we researched the social sciences, we picked up anecdotes, stories, some frameworks, and then wrote a book hoping that a larger number of people could benefit from it.
So the idea of the book came about from a lot of our interactions with our students, alumni, recruiters, who shared with us what are the practices that actually work at the workplace, why are they doing well. And we really thought that these conversations we've had in class, but can we make this interesting knowledge available as nuggets and also make it available to a much larger audience than just the students who would typically take our class. So the idea of Leapfrog is to get our conversations that happen at Ashoka and at IMA to a much larger audience. To me, the most relevant practice is the practice of thinking like an entrepreneur. So the last chapter, the sixth practice, which is think entrepreneurially. It's really about your ability to do the best that you can with what you have, right? We've brought in the theory of effectuation, which we often talk about in class, which is now well established across the world as a outcome from Sarat Saraswati's research. But the idea of being able to do a little bit of jugaad, to do a little bit of problem solving, to do the best that you can with the resources that you have is something that we'll all have to do at some point of time in our careers. And that's an important element in thinking like an entrepreneur.
I think all six of them are, but my favorite is intellectual humility, which is the ability to recognize that there are limits to your knowledge. We preface the chapter with the short saying, we are all confident idiots. So realizing that there are limits to your knowledge is probably one of the key practices. And we have given a number of stories there. We have the example of a bank robber who hears that you become invisible if you use lemon juice. So he paints himself with lemon juice and then goes and robs a bank, smiling confidently at the cameras. So we've used stories like this and frameworks to convey to readers the practices and the pillars below them that will help them as they navigate their careers and their lives. So the idea of Leapfrog was to make people realize that they could leap into the future that they want. So we have a personal journey map at the end of the book, which makes you look at your current repertoire. What are your skills? What are your abilities? Who are your networks? Then you look at the landscape ahead in terms of the changes that are taking place all around us. And finally, you build a curated path to get there. So the idea was that you could leapfrog from where you are to where you would like to be in the future.
The premise of Leapfrog is that everybody can do well in their career. They just need to adapt to certain practices, imbibe the pillars that we've talked about in our book. And like Mukesh mentioned, really bring out what they want to achieve through using the personal journey map. So it's not just a book about giving gyan on what needs to be done. It also helps you implement that gyan. And that's the power that we want all our readers to go away with.